Well, I want to thank you for joining us today. We've got a real treat here. We're in the Piedmont area of North Carolina. Beautiful day in the fall. And right in front of us, we have a gorgeous car. This is a 2012 Porsche Cayman R. And this is a rare car. I've got the owner here with me, and he's going to tell me a little bit about this car. So they only produced just so many of these and brought them to the U.S. Is that correct?
That's correct. They brought in approximately 500 cars to the North American market, and about 41 of those cars went to Canada.
Okay.
This particular version is one of the Canadian cars.
All right. So I'm familiar, of course, with the Caymans. Most people are, and of course, you've got the S Cayman, which that's the more high performance one. But the R is really even more special than that. Can you tell me some of the things that make it even more of a performance type car?
Well, I think Porsche wanted to do the ultimate version of the 987 Cayman.
Okay.
And this particular car, I think, was a little more oriented toward track work than street work.
Okay.
They lowered the car 20 millimeters, some suspension modifications. They changed the exhaust system, gave the car a little more horsepower. The rear wing gives it a little better aerodynamics.
Okay.
And just an incredible handling car.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think they pulled some weight out of this, which that always helps when you're talking about performance in automobiles. So, am I correct? It's about 120 pounds of weight that was taken out of this car versus the S.
That's correct. They made the doors out of aluminum, and they created the wheels on the Spider, which at the time was the lightest wheel that Porsche made, to also take some weight out of the car.
Okay.
Some other things, they removed the radio and they removed the air conditioner, and they put in the 930 type door openers inside the car.
So that's not a regular metal handle. It's more like a strap you'd see that you can close the door with.
Yes, it's like the old 930s.
Okay. Now, I notice that you've got a spoiler on the back here, and on the S's, if I'm not mistaken, it's a mechanical spoiler that goes up at a certain speed and goes down, where this one is fixed. I have to assume that was to help also keep weight out of the car.
That's correct. That's a carbon fiber wing. It was designed specifically to take out weight and also improve the aerodynamics of the car.
Okay. Yeah, with the mechanical one, you have everything else that goes along with the mechanical spoiler, which is moving parts and motors and so forth. So that's another place they can keep some of the weight out of the car. Now, how many miles are on this car approximately?
The car has approximately 14,500 miles.
Okay. So you're under 15,000 miles on this car.
That's correct.
Now, have you ever raced this car?
No. This car, when I bought it, I was looking for. Actually, I bought one of these cars new in 2012 when they first came out.
Okay.
I sold it after a couple of years. Never got the car out of my mind. So when I had a chance to pick up a low mileage version of the Cayman R, I found this car, and no, it has never been on a track.
Okay.
It's been in my garage for the most part.
So you had the first one and regretted selling it, so you had to find another one.
That's correct.
Okay. Well, I can understand that. It's a beautiful car. I tell you, I think the Cayman is absolutely one of the best looking cars. And of course, being a mid-engine car, it's got a lot of the attributes that that they're looking for in a track-worthy type of automobile. Can you show us the inside here just a little bit?
Well, let me just,
Okay.
Porsche, on this particular car, to me, Porsche is as much about art as it is about engineering and performance.
Right.
The Cayman R, to me, is the ultimate example of Porsche past and Porsche present.
Okay.
You can actually see the historic lines in the car that go back into the 1960s, and of course the lines that are on the new cars today. So it's kind of like when you look at the Cayman R, you're looking at Porsche history like a time capsule.
Well, now you're not new to Porsches.
No, I bought my first Porsche in 1972, and I've been driving one, some different version since 1972.
Well, that's about 50 years.
Unfortunately, unfortunately, that's correct.
All right. Well, I tell you, it's always nice to talk to somebody who is familiar with the brand, especially when it comes to Porsches, and to know that you've had to put a lot of thought into your purchases, and that this one would rise to the occasion twice for you. So, no, I want to take a look inside if it's all right. I just want let's look inside here, and we'll just take a little. Now you can see right away over here we've had the strap, which is used to open and close the door. Saves a little weight there. Now you said they was it a different type? You do have a radio in this.
Yes.
Okay. Now
This one has the upgraded Bose system.
Bose system. Okay.
Yes.
All righty. Come around and look the back over here as well. It's a two-place car, and of course people who are not familiar with Porsches don't realize that the engine's right there. It's a mid-engine, which means that the weight of the engine is in front of the rear axle. And even if you're not an engineer, you can understand that if you move the weight towards the center, then when you're going around a corner, it's going to do a lot better job, because the way the weight of the car is, or the weight of the engine is located, and it's going to spread that weight over all four wheels a little easier as well. So the handling improvement is amazing, and I have to believe that when you're driving a car like this, when you're going through the curves, that it does quite well. And also where you're seated, if you look at the seating position between the front and rear axle, you're right there in the middle. So when you go into an apex of a turn, it feels very comfortable and very natural because of the design of the car. Did you tell me it also has a different type of an exhaust?
Well, what Porsche did to gain the additional horsepower on the Cayman R was they made the pipes a little bigger diameter,
Okay, less resistance.
and that's where they picked up the additional horsepower over the Cayman S.
Okay. Well, it's an awful beautiful car. I can tell it's been well cared for. If I'm not mistaken, it sounds like you've only put about 1,000 or so miles on it.
That's correct. I haven't driven it very much.
Okay. You must have other cars to drive as well.
I do have 3 Porsches.
Okay. Well, I tell you, it's an awful nice car, and like all good things, it's time to make some more space in the garage.
Well, that's what my wife says. So
I think many of us can identify with that. So,
yes.
Well, I tell you what, this is going to be an awful nice find for somebody. If you're into Porsches, the history of the marque, to have one that's unique like this is very special. And when you know this one's been so well cared for, this would be a great opportunity for somebody. Now, let me just ask the big question here. If it came into Canada, are you looking at kilometers when you drive it, or is it changed to U.S. miles?
The speedometer
Yeah.
on the left-hand side is kilometers.
Okay.
But Porsche, of course, has engineered the car where you can convert it to miles per hour.
Okay.
And so the digital readout that you own at the bottom of the tachometer gives you the exact miles per hour.
Okay, so you can watch that to see where your
Yeah.
speed is. You don't have
Yeah.
to do math in your head when you're driving.
No.
I've had to do that before, so that's why it came
Yeah.
up. So, well, I want to thank you for showing this beautiful car, and it's going to be out there in the world very soon. And I tell you what, whoever's able to purchase this one, I think is going to be very happy, and it's going to bring a lot of smiles when they take it to any of the events as well. So, thank you so much for joining us, and we got a couple other videos we can show you later as well. Thank you.